What's up guys, Carnate here, and welcome back to another Black Ops 2 gameplay commentary, where I know it's getting stale. I honestly can't wait for another game to come out so I can play that, which I'll probably do GTA 5, because it comes out like in 2 days. But anyways, that's completely beside the point. So, I haven't done a gameplay commentary in a while, and really I just wanted to talk to you guys on this before I went crazy, basically. Because I want to talk about video games today. And seeing as we are playing Call of Duty, a video game, I feel like it would be fit just to talk about video games in general and how they help us as human beings and as people. So, what people don't usually understand is they don't see the good side of video games. Like, they don't see what it can teach you, what you can learn from it, how it can help someone get through another part in their life. So, for me personally, like, I think video games are wonderful because they teach you so many things that you would never really learn otherwise. Because let's be honest here, who has learned about like honor and pride or anything like that in school? Like, I mean, sure, my parents would be like, yeah, you have to do, like, when you go to a school, your parents are like, okay, you're representing like our family name, you have to do this, like, don't fuck it up, basically. Don't screw this family name for everyone else. So that's pretty much the only place I learned about like honor, other than like video games. Like Final Fantasy VII was a huge part of my childhood, and I don't know, I just felt like it had to come to this video game talk eventually. So we're getting into that now. So with Final Fantasy VII, obviously it's a really fun game, and it just has an amazing storyline, and I think that is what they have to do to bring the whole Final Fantasy series back. Because honestly, I love the Final Fantasy games all the way. Like, I played Final Fantasy 1, and I beat that game in like 2 days. Final Fantasy 2, I got like halfway through it. Final Fantasy 3 was, maybe. Final Fantasy 4, I think I beat. And then 7, I beat like 4 times. Final Fantasy 8, I didn't beat. 9, I beat once. And then 10, I pretty much went through that as well. So anyways, that's a whole bunch of different Final Fantasy games. But with video games, like, they can teach you that. They can teach you, like, honor and pride and always, like, persevere. Because in school, people, like, they never teach you how to push through something that's very difficult for you. They never teach you how to just motor through it. They don't teach you how to persevere in anything unless you're playing, like, a crazy, like, high-end sport. But with Final Fantasy and with video games, it taught me so much with, like, these people in the video game have to go through this, so really it's like, why wouldn't you be able to do it? So basically, in the end, well, not even in the end, it's in the middle. We're still talking about video games here. So, like, responsibility. My parents obviously taught us responsibility. They'd be like, yeah, you have to do your chores every Friday or else you don't get to play video games, blah, 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 right? So they taught us responsibility. But then video games taught us responsibility too, because back to Final Fantasy, where you have to get the job done, like, you have to save the world from this guy or whatever, you have to do this and save your best friend or save your girlfriend or whatever, you have to do that, basically. Video games also teach you about, like, choices and, like, morals. They teach you more about yourself. Like, say you're playing a video game where you have a choice to kill someone or, like, spare them and try to fix them, try to help them get through their criminal lives or whatever they were doing. Like, if you just straight up go and shoot them, you might realize that you are a heartless bastard and you're just cold as fuck and you just do nothing. So you might just, you know, it's kind of weird like that, because it helps you, like, figure out yourself. Like, you can be like, oh, I'm this kind of person. No, I have compassion for this and I care for others and I don't want to kill anyone meaninglessly. Or you can just be like, oh, I'm psychotic and I go around killing anyone. But video games, they have a lot of stuff, basically. Because besides all the stuff that I talked before, there's also the whole side of I can take orders or I can think for myself. Because obviously you don't want to be like a mindless robot and just do whatever every single person tells you to do throughout your whole life. Because obviously there's some points where you're going to have to do what they tell you because that's in your best interest. There's other times where you're just going to be like, no, I'm not doing that because that is not, like, it's not the right thing to do, basically. So it teaches you just a whole bunch of stuff. It teaches you how to be a leader in some points. It teaches you that at some points you have to be a follower. in order to just get something done, and it just helps you grow in general, I find. And most people today, they don't see that with video games. With video games now, like if there's like adults or something, or anyone in like the media, if they are going against video games, they're gonna take a look at like Call of Duty and Gears of War and Grand Theft Auto and be like, look at what this is teaching our kids. But in the end, like, there's so many other video games, like role-playing games, fantasy games, sci-fi games, whole bunch of different other games that actually help teach kids, like, well, they don't teach kids, but they just help put, like, a different mindset into people. Because, for me, I know that if I didn't play video games as a child, I would not be where I am today. Like, I would not have this same mindset. I would not be the type of person I am today. That's 100% certain. Because video games, they took me into another world, basically. Because in my childhood, my video games mainly consisted of like Street Fighter for the PlayStation 1, Spyro, and also like Final Fantasy 7, as I said. So I played Final Fantasy 7 like 4 times probably. I put easily over like 90 hours into that game, probably over 100, just because I played it so many times and was so into that game. But the storyline in games, to me, is the most important thing. Like, with developers, they're all like, oh, look at our graphics, oh, look at our processing unit, oh, look at how many frames per second we can go on this. And to me, I'm just sitting there like, I honestly don't really care about graphics too much. I would play Final Fantasy 1 over again, like, over and over and over again. And that came out for the Nintendo Entertainment System way back in the day. So to me, it's not about graphics. It's about telling a story. It's about getting the point across, basically. Because when I play video games anyways, like, if I play a video game and there is no story behind it, like, there's no reasoning to go with it, there's no kind of, here's what happened, here's what you're doing, you have to do this, here's the backstory, here's your player. If it's like that, if there's nothing like that, and it's just, yeah, shoot this person and you're done. It's like, just shoot people. No, I can't play a game like that, usually. Like, Call of Duty, obviously, I'll play it because that's what all my friends are playing, and it's just, it's like the mainstream game. But if I was playing a game solo, like, I wouldn't be able to play Call of Duty on my own for literally 12 hours a day, maybe 10 or 8. Because when I was playing Final Fantasy 7, I would play that game for like 6 hours straight, go up, eat dinner, come back down and play for like another 4, and then go to bed and then get up for school the next morning. So to me, the story and like the inside of the game, like the feelings, is much better than the actual gameplay. I could care less about graphics, but the actual story and getting a point across is what I like to hear. Well, it's what I like in a video game. So that's my points in a video game. Tell me what you like to see in a video game down in the comments below. If you want to, you can click subscribe down below. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's in the description below. And that's all I have for you today, guys. I've been Carnate, and peace out.